Hello, everyone. I wish I could see you, and I miss you. I wanted to say a few things to you at this time of crisis that we're going through. Just a few thoughts I wanted to share with you. The first is, I know we're afraid. I'm afraid. And I wanted to say it's okay to be afraid. You know, it's okay to say, this scares me. This does scare me. And I know it scares you too. You know, I have allergies. Right? Sometimes I wake up in the morning, I'm coughing, and I feel like, I wonder, do I have the C word? And of course, it's just allergies, but it shows you how fear could play into our minds, right? Fear is not a bad thing. When you think about it, fear has its place and its value. It's fear that reminds us to social distance, to wash our hands, to be very careful, to not go out as often as we normally would. So it's okay to be afraid, and let your fear continue, to guide you to do what each of us need to do during this time. However, while fear has its value, fear can also be exaggerated. Fear can cast a giant shadow. And so it's important that we understand what this virus is and what it isn't. You know, I know because of the timing with Passover and this virus that a lot of people were saying it's a modern day plague. You probably have heard that this is a plague. This is not a plague. You know, a plague, those in the Exodus story, a plague came from God. A plague was sent from God. It was a supernatural power. This plague isn't supernatural. This is a virus. You know what this is? Let's call it what it really is. It's an illness. It's a very serious illness. It's like, say, polio, right? Very serious illness. Claim many, many people. Okay. But do you know what we as human beings, and especially we as Jews so active in the medical and scientific world, do you know what we do with illnesses? We defeat them. We find cures. And I guarantee you, a cure will be found for this. You know, polio afflicted many people, but Jonas Salk created a vaccine. Didn't take overnight, didn't take a few weeks, didn't take a month or two, it took a while. Polio was defeated. This coronavirus, the C word, will be defeated. Please remember that. One last thought I wanted to share with you. A couple more. I better be careful because you know me, I can go on forever and ever and ever, and as if one forever wasn't enough. Remember this. I gave a sermon, not this past High Holiday, but the year before. It was a Kol Nidre night sermon in which I spoke about a commercial that I was fond of, right? We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. Well, that's very true of us Jews. We know about dark days because we've seen dark days, haven't we? As a people, historically. We know how to survive dark days. And we know what it takes to survive dark days. When Jerusalem was destroyed the first time, and the first temple was destroyed, that's Solomon's temple, that happened in the year 586 BCE, right? That wasn't 2,000 years ago, that's like 2,500 years ago. Our people were in exile. They were in exile from their family. They were in exile from their friends. They were in exile from their neighbors. It was very painful. You know what they did? They created something new, the synagogue. Yeah, the Beit Knesset, the synagogue, a place where people came together not to make sacrifices to God, offerings to God on the in the temple, but rather to offer prayers and to study and to discuss events going on in the world and in our community. They created a synagogue so they could share their hearts and their prayers and their aspirations and their dreams. And to this day, the synagogue is still with us and has kept the Jewish people alive. Our synagogue, Congregation of Shalom, is still here with you. We don't see you in the sanctuary, but I want to give Yasher Koach to Rabbi K for all the live streaming he's doing, not just of services, but of classes and Torah studies and all sorts of events that he's working on to keep our hearts and aspirations and hopes together. We will overcome this. In Hebrew, there's an expression, Gam ze ya'avor, which means this too shall pass. I promise you that. I promise you that. This too shall pass. And soon, hopefully very soon, certainly I hope by the next high holidays, I'll be able to see you in person, and you'll be able to see me in person, and it'll be wonderful. It will be wonderful. So, it's okay to be afraid. Fear has its purpose. Don't let the shadow of fear overcome you. This will be defeated. This will pass. Keep the faith. That's what we Jews do. So long. Be well. Be safe. Be strong.